This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
This time my wife has a problem, and so we brought her here, and we're sure that this is going to be her answer too.
I wrote a letter to a friend that I'm hoping I can get down here. And I said, next thing to heaven, this is it.
We are going to take a look at a place with a peaceful and supportive atmosphere, where appreciation of life is strongly enhanced.
I decided that it would be a good time of year to be here and try to heal my body naturally because I knew a lot about the wheatgrass program.
Coming here, it's a situation, is ideal. It takes the stress off you because when you try to do it on your own, it's very difficult.
It just has a supportive atmosphere, and I guess it's the detoxification, physically as well as mentally, that helps me feel better.
People come for many reasons, from degenerative diseases to simply being overweight. Some participate just because they want to change their eating habits and cleanse their bodies. Many are here for the second and third times. They come because they know the program works for them, and they need the discipline and reassurance that this special environment gives. What is this special place? It is the Health Institute of San Diego.
They're very spacious and nice. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the grounds, and thank you so much.
The founder and driving force behind the Health Institute of San Diego is Raychel Solomon.
Each of us has a dream, an urge to make our lives more meaningful. I had lost 2 sisters to cancer. I lost my husband of 36 years to kidney failure. I saw friends suffering the agony of arthritis, heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, ulcers, emphysema, high blood pressure, colitis. I felt compelled to do something to help stem this epidemic trend. My dream crystallized.
More than 14,000 people have passed through the Health Institute since it began. It has been an indelible experience, one that will be with them for the rest of their lives.
are enjoying the best of everything.
This is the first video in the Optimum Health Institute of San Diego video series. This video consists of 2 parts, a general introduction to the program and the morning exercise and trampoline classes. In this class, Raychel Solomon, the founder and director of the Optimum Health Institute of San Diego, will discuss how each aspect of the person, including the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual, contribute to optimum health. You will then learn about the wonders of wheatgrass and how to use wheatgrass juice to assist your body in its self-cleansing and self-healing processes.
Greetings. I'm Raychel Solomon, the founder and director of the Optimum Health Institute of San Diego. I want to welcome you to the Institute and congratulate you for the good judgment in taking this period of your time, of your life, to do something to improve the quality of your life. Now, surely, we all understand that what we do for our body when we're young is what is going to make our body well as we get older. And so at this time, I am going to share with you some of the wonderful things that I've discovered in the past 40 years since I've been on a quest for health and the meaning of life. The Optimum Health Institute is a very unique place because when you come here, you are going to deal with your whole being. But first, let me say to you, it's very important to have an optimistic attitude, to be happy, to look forward to what you really want rather than to stew and to worry and to allow yourself to be buffeted by the problems and challenges that come to us. So first, I'm going to ask you all to take out your tablets and write down what you hope to achieve from your taking this course. As you came to the Institute, imagine that you saw a large receptacle, and whatever problem you had, whatever it might have been, whether it was health or a relationship or financial or a job or whatever it might be, you tossed that problem into the container because there are no problems here at the Institute, only solutions. Because what you dwell on, what you focus your attention on, what you think about is what you attract to yourself. Because our thoughts are electromagnetic energy. Your thought goes out electrically out into the atmosphere and magnetically draws back to you what you have focused your attention on. In the scriptures we've been told, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And we know that's true because our thoughts are what project, are the blueprint that comes back to us in our life. So while you're here, you are not going to focus on problems. You are going to focus on the solutions. In other words, you're going to set goals for yourself. So again, at this moment, if you will, take out your tablets and write down what you hope to achieve from this program. And you may write down as many goals as you would like, 100 if you wish. It's very personal, it's very private. This is your commitment to yourself. So you write down, and I'm giving you a moment to do that. Now, if you will look at what you've written down at least twice a day, probably the first thing in the morning when you arise and the last thing before you go to bed is quality time because our minds are more receptive at that time. And if you look at what you have written down, I can guarantee that you will be amazed at the results that you're going to get from your visit. And so now, if you will, remember there are several very important rules that we have. One is to always have a positive mental attitude. If you talk about your problem, the person that you talk to sympathizes with you and says, "Oh, you poor thing, how you've suffered." And now you have two people projecting negative energy in your direction. And if you are, as some people will get into a group and talk about their operation or all the misfortunes that they have and so forth, and a whole group are now using positive, negative energy, then you can be sure that you will just never overcome your problem. So the first thing is to have a positive mental attitude. Second, you have come here, you have devoted, and you have actually dedicated a certain space of time for what you're going to learn here. So give it your best effort. Attend the classes, learn what you have to learn, and let it be impressed so that your life will never be the same again. The quality of your life has already begun to take another direction. Take the classes in the sequence that they're given and focus your attention on what you're learning here. Forget what you have learned before, because right now you are going to reverse the thinking that you have had over many years, and you are now going in a new direction. Now, this is a program that deals with the whole being, not just the physical, but the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. Therefore, as we feel that you cannot be whole or wholesome unless you address the whole being. So first let us talk about the physical. While you're here, you are going to learn a new lifestyle, you're going to learn new diets, you're going to learn a new attitude, and you are going to learn to be happy, always being happy, because when we smile, when we laugh, when we're happy, we set in motion our endorphins, which are our healing hormones, and they then help to generate healing throughout the body. The emotions are really a very important part of our being, because when we are emotionally upset, a chemical change takes place in our being, in our body, and it actually continues to impress the traumas that we built up through the years. So you are going to find now that it'll be so much easier for you to just laugh and be joyful, to appreciate not only yourself but those that you are now bonding with, because you're not alone now. You have come with other guests, many of which have dedicated themselves, all as a matter of fact, have dedicated themselves to this program. And so now we've addressed the whole being. Okay, now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. If you are ill, it's because you are toxic. If you're toxic, then it is very important to get those toxins out of your system. And we have discovered a very simple method of eliminating toxins from our bodies. And so, if you're ready for this, here we go. I'm going to share with you a wonderful little instrument, if you want to call it that, which now you are, for the next few months, you are going to become very familiar with, very comfortable with, and this is what we call our enema equipment. There you are, here it is, it's an enema bucket, holds 1.5 quarts of water. Here's a tube, and the tube and the bucket are transparent, so you can see the flow of the liquid as it goes through. Now here we have a small, if you can see it, we have a small shut-off valve. When you push the valve down, it shuts off the flow. As you push it back up, it allows the flow to continue again. And here we have a colon tube. Very soft, very pliable, very comfortable, and one that you are going to be using to get the poisons out of your system. I'd like to share with you this little gadget. It's pretty interesting, and I'm sure you've all recognized it as a baby's nipple. One day, one of our guests came to me, and he said, "Raychel, I think I've solved the leakage problem." So I said to him, "Are you a plumber?" And he said, "No, I'm a structural engineer." And so I've discovered that a structural engineer is probably just as good as a plumber, because what did he come up with? Many people, when they are going through this process, find that they don't have the control that they need. And so this works like a small little stopper. Isn't that a beautiful instrument? Just being here for a short time, his mind became so active that he actually devised a method that has been very helpful here to our guests and will be to you as you go on with the program. So now, what would be the procedure? We have found that, and I'm going to show you first, let me share with you a picture of a colon. Now, I think you can see that, the chart. Now, this is a colon. Many of you are probably familiar with what a colon looks like, but if you're not, and this is really it is an artist's rendition of a colon. I don't know if anyone that has one as perfect as this, but for our purposes, this is a colon, and it's a very healthy colon. So, what do we have? As you note, there are little pouches in this colon that go around on both sides. And those little pouches, because of the abuses, the foods that we've eaten, the junk foods, because of the stresses and so forth, have built up, and because of overeating particularly, we find that when we overeat, and we cannot digest it properly, it stores in our colon or our lower intestinal tract and builds up like layers and layers of hard impacted matter. And as that matter builds up in the colon, it begins to putrefy and gets into our bloodstream and attacks us wherever our inherent weakness happens to be. So either well or you're not well. You either have toxins or you have no toxins. And if you do have the toxins, voila, here's a way to get them out. So, now you've seen this. This is the rectum, as you probably know, in the position of the colon. And this is the anus. And what we are going to do is to take the enema, and before we go on further with this, let me explain a little further now that you recognize where it's going. Okay, you're going to fill your bucket with 1.5 quarts of water. Tepid, lukewarm water is a little too cool. So it's best if it were a little warmer, not hot, but warmer than tepid, because the body feels more comfortable in a body temperature water. So you'll fill it with 1.5 quarts of water. We've also found, of course, before you do that, do be sure that you shut off your valve. Now I'm shutting the valve off. I've now added the water, 1.5 quarts of water. It is beneficial to put about a teaspoon of wheatgrass juice in the water, put it in, swish it around. Wheatgrass juice has wonderful qualities, one of which is it works as a purifier. And so it seems to draw out some of the chemicals. So now you have put the water in your bucket, 1.5 quarts. And at this point, let me suggest to you that it'll be more comfortable if you will use a little Vaseline, forget the Vaseline. Do not use Vaseline. If you will use a water-soluble lubricant, then you'll find that it'll be easier because there's going to be a lot of activity in that area for the next few months. But all you need to do is put a dab on the tip of your colon tube. So now you've done that. Of course, you see this is rather a large one. And here we have, that's a hospital size. But the reason we have the hospital size is because it doesn't cost really much more than a smaller size that you might get. And we find that when you go home, and if you have any left, this could probably last you a lifetime, you can mount it in your bathroom to remind you of your pleasant stay here at the Institute. So it'll be a little souvenir that you can take home with you. But now you have, for your enema, all you need to use is just about 1 inch or 2 of the colon tube, because the weight of the water will do what needs to be done and will force the water down into the end of your tube. Now, because there is air in the tube, and you need to get the air out because you don't want the air to be forced into your body, we suggest that you use this method. Shut off your tube, you've done that, and add the liquid, whether it's water or the next process, but whatever liquid you have in here, put your liquid in there, and then, just barely, be sure that you have this, now that barely loosen it a little, so that the liquid will force the air out of the tube, and before it comes all the way through, then you will insert it in the rectum. Okay, that's for your enema. Now, we need to take an enema before we use the cleansing or the what we call an implant, because this is a process of washing the colon out first, preparing yourself for the implant, which is really going to do the work that needs to be done. Okay, so now you've added the water, you've put it in there, and you have taken your enema. If you're not accustomed to taking an enema, and I don't think it's anyone's favorite occupation, you may not be able to hold 1.5 quarts of water. If you can't hold 1.5 quarts of water, don't be concerned. Take as much as you can, shut off the tube again, and release what you've already taken into your body, and then take the rest of it. You do need 1.5 quarts of the water to rinse out the colon to prepare it for the implant. And I'll talk about the implant in a moment, but first let us take the first process, which is taking the enema. So now you have taken your enema. The positions of your enema we'll go into in a few moments, because I'm sure that you're thinking about that this moment, and I want all of your attention for the process before we give you positions and some of the details. So you've taken your enema, and you've used all of the water, and you've released it. Now, after you've released the water, and really you need to hold the enema a very short period, 5, 10, or 15 minutes is sufficient. It's just for rinsing the colon. Now, when you've taken an enema, you have 2 hours in which to take the next process. The next process is using wheatgrass juice. Now, this is wheatgrass, which you see, and you'll see it many times here at the Institute, and the different classes that you'll be given, and how to grow it, and how to use it, and so forth. The juice of this wheat will come out as a juice and looking beautiful emerald green. This is what the wheatgrass juice will look like. For your next process, you will be taking the implants. The implants are using 4 ounces of wheatgrass juice. 4 ounces of wheatgrass juice, full strength, never diluted, and always use it as soon after juicing as possible. Preferably immediately, but no longer than an hour after you have juiced the wheatgrass. Let me tell you, wheatgrass juice is very powerful. It is a cleansing agent. It actually, as you put it through the colon, as we pointed out, as it goes in through the colon, it coats the colon. And it acts somewhat like Easy Off. Now, you know, Easy Off that we put in our oven when it gets greasy and grimy and gritty. The wheatgrass juice has pretty much the same effect. It begins to, if you'll note here, this is where the colon is, it begins to break up, loosen, dissolve that hard matter that is built up over many years of abuse, and begins to loosen that hard poison that you want to get out of your system. And so you have taken your wheatgrass juice and you've allowed it to coat, and try to hold it for 20 minutes if you can, because if you can hold it for 20 minutes, and I say if you can, it's very powerful, and sometimes as you first times that you do it, you find it wants out. And if it is, that's fine. Even if it only coats it, it's only there for a moment or a minute or two, it still is going to be very effective. However, if you can hold it for 20 minutes, then not only does it coat, but it soaks, and then you find the results can be a little more beneficial. But don't be discouraged if you can't hold it. To begin with, you probably will not be able to, and that's fine. Now, you have 2 hours after you've taken your enema in which to take the implants. In other words, it takes about 2 hours for the loose fecal matter to go back, to get down into the intestinal tract. So you've taken your enema, you have waited 5 or 10 minutes just to be sure that you've rinsed it all out, and you've released the enema. You have 2 hours to take the implants. Now, the first implant, as I pointed out, you take that first, as I suggested, and then you've released it. You must wait an hour after you've released it before you take your second implant. Now, the purpose of waiting an hour is allowing the wheatgrass juice, because of its power, to begin to break up, loosen, and dissolve some of that matter. You've allowed an hour for that to happen. Then when you take your second one, it continues the process. So let me repeat the process again. You've taken an enema, you've waited about 5, 10, or 15 minutes, you walked around to be sure that you have released all the liquid, water or fecal matter, and now you take your first implant. Taking the first implant, you try to hold it for 20 minutes, or 10, 15, 3, whatever it may be, and then you wait a full hour for your second one. Now, if you can get both of those within that 2-hour space from the time you've taken your enema, then you can be through, you've taken them both, and that's your process for the day. However, if you cannot take both of them within 2 hours, and that may be for various reasons. It may be because you're sharing a room with someone else, you can't get to the bathroom. It may be because of your classes. It may be because of your meals. For whatever reason it may be, if you don't get both of those implants within that 2-hour period, then wait 6 to 8 hours, allowing the dissolving to continue, and then take another enema before taking your second implant. Now, I'm going to make a point now that's really very important. We never take an enema unless we follow it with the wheatgrass juice, with the implant. And we never take an implant without first preceding it with an enema. And this is the reason for that. If you take enemas, and you get into the habit of taking enemas, your body becomes dependent on the enemas. It's like laxatives. Your body then does not have a normal elimination. It really depends on that additional and not healthy natural way of elimination. So we need to take the implant following the enema, because wheatgrass juice is really so powerful that it begins to build up and reactivate the peristaltic action. And that's what calls for a healthy colon. So let me repeat again. You've taken your enema, you have released it, you waited 5 or 10 minutes to be sure that all the water, whatever loose matter is there, has been eliminated. And then you take your first implant. If you can, you hold it for 20 minutes. If you can't, as soon as you have released it, count an hour from that time until your second implant. And then you're through for the day, and you needn't worry about it at all, and you'll feel so light, and you'll feel so comfortable, and you'll just feel squeaky clean. I would like to say that one application would do it for you, but unfortunately, you've taken possibly 10, 20, maybe 30, 40, maybe even 50 or 60 years to build up that poison in your system. So it would be unrealistic to expect that with 1 or 2 or 3 implants, you would be able to remove all that impacted matter. It does take an average of 3 months to get all of the hard impaction out of your system. So it's squeaky clean again and more natural. And you'll find that your elimination will improve, and that you will feel vibrant, you'll feel healthy and joyous, and you'll find that your whole being will be sparkling. Now that is the process of taking the enemas and the implants. We call them E's and I's. E's for enemas and I's for implants. So E's and I's. It's a combination deal. You don't take one without the other. Okay, now you've understood that. Now let's fine point this a little. Sometimes we find, and this is particularly for the implant. Now I said you only use a small amount of the colon tube for your enema. When you take your implant, however, we take the entire tube. And the reason for that is because what we want to do, we want to show you, is that we wanted to go in here and make the turn so that it will follow the process and actually follow the whole colon. Now there is no feeling in your colon once you made the insertion. Not that the insertion is an uncomfortable feeling, but I will say to you, you do find that you know something is going on there. Okay, not uncomfortable, but different. So now you've taken the entire, you use the whole tube. Now, when you, once in a while we have found that people will note that the wheatgrass juice will go down, and this is for the implant, it'll go down fine, it goes all the way down, and then all of a sudden seems to come up again, a little up, goes down, and then goes up again. If that happens, it's probably one of two reasons. Nothing serious, but if you understand what it is, you'll feel more comfortable with it. It may be because, and now again I'm going to refer to our chart. Now this is this is what we would call a perfect colon. Here are some sicky colons. Now they look pretty stretched out and blown up and loops and turns and so forth. When we try to force our elimination, sometimes we find by forcing we blow up part of the colon, or sometimes we find that we stretch out part of the colon. Sometimes we find that we have little loops and little turns, so it really does look very distorted, as you'll notice in these 6 different illustrations. If you have found that it does go up and go down, it can be one of two things. It can be, first of all, you may be a little uptight because it's a new experience. We're always a little wary about a new experience. And when we are, we tighten up. I think you call that your stomach grabs or your gut grabs. And when that happens, if it grabs, what happens? It's going to force the wheatgrass to come back up a little. If you're relaxed, it goes down. If you're uptight, it'll go up. Or it may be this reason. If you're bending, that too will force it to come up. So if you find that the wheatgrass juice is acting up and down and so forth, just think of something very pleasant. Think of everybody here at the Institute in the same position. Now, isn't that a pleasant thought? And now let's get into the positions. Okay. I think you can recognize here that this is where our appendix is. So right at this area, right over here, and down to the colon, down to the rectum, okay, that your colon is going to, you need to have it coated. When you turn your body in the position so that now here is the entrance or the anus or the rectum, now it's going here, then it trickles down and follows this little course, and then you will find that you will be able to coat the entire colon. It is important that you do coat the whole colon because you haven't built up areas in the entire colon. So you can either lie on your left side when you take it and then lean back and then lie on your right side and it'll follow the contour of the colon. Or you can lie on the ground and put your legs or do a shoulder stand. We all know what a shoulder stand is. You lie on your back and you raise, remember you must raise the hips. It's not raising the legs. Nothing happens in the legs. It's this we're addressing, this area here from the waist to here. So then you can raise your hips in a way so that it will follow this particular process and will be coating. You may come up with some other little ideas. Whatever they may be, you will find we all take responsibility for ourselves and we find what feels most comfortable for us. There are 5 or 6 different, but whichever one feels right for you, this is the one. Your main aim, your purpose is to reverse the body so that the colon from this part will then go around the whole area. Okay? Now that's as far as taking your implant. Now sometimes we do find that the wheatgrass, again it's the wheatgrass, when we're taking the implant, sometimes we find that the implant goes down, but it doesn't go any further. It stays at one point. It won't go up and it won't go down. It just stays at that point. Well, if that happens, then we suggest that you, that may be for one of 2 reasons as well. One, remember we showed you those little loops and the odd little things in in a not-so-perfect colon. So here you are, you're inserting this into your body, and it may hit one of those little turns. If you put it in very quickly, it may hit the turn and stop, and then it won't. It'll just stop where it is. If that happens, just pull it back slightly, and you'll probably find that the flow will continue again. But if the flow does not continue again, then watch very carefully what you would do. First of all, be sure that you shut off the flow. Shut down the little stopper. Be sure you do that, because you now are going to withdraw, and you are going to look, and you may find a little fecal matter that's stuffed there. Be sure you shut this off before you look into this. And if this is the case, rinse it out, start again, and you shouldn't have a problem at all. It's not a serious thing, but I do believe when we know what the possibilities might be, we don't get so uptight about it. We think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? Everybody does it. We've had thousands of people that have come here, tens of thousands of people, and no one's had a problem with the E's and the I's, the enemas and the implants, and I'm sure you're no different. As long as you know what to expect. Expect the best, because you deserve the best. So that would be the process of taking your E's and your I's, your enemas and your implants. So now I'm going to answer some of the many questions that people do ask regarding this. What time is the best time to take your E's and I's? It really doesn't matter. It just depends on your lifestyle. You might take your E's and I's if you feel it more convenient. You can take them the first thing in the morning when you get up. Or you can take it midday. Or you can take it mid-afternoon. Or you can take it before dinner, or after dinner, or in the middle of the night. It really doesn't matter. But I'm sure we're all aware, and you are as well as I, that the body functions on a schedule. Our bowel functions on a schedule. So it's best to establish a time which works within our lifestyle so that we will have a normal daily elimination. While you're here, since this is just practice, then if you don't find that each time you can do it the same, it doesn't matter. You're really just practicing the procedure. Okay? So now that we have talked about the enemas and the implants, let's address another area. And let's talk about colonics. Now, we're really not into colonic therapy as such. We don't advocate series of colonics. However, we do think that while you're doing an intense cleansing, it is a good idea, because you've been breaking up and loosening a lot of matter in your intestinal tract, your colon, that perhaps at the end of the week, after you've taken 2 implants a day, you might take a colonic, and the colonic would then break up. It's like using a fire hose to clean out that colon tract. So we do recommend that you do. But if you do, remember, when you take your colonic, it can substitute for the enema for that day. In other words, if you're going to take a colonic and you follow it in the same sequence within the 2-hour period, you can take your E's and I's and be done for the day, and then you won't need to take the enemas as well. Now, this is what we talk about, the cleansing, the immediate cleansing, and that is from the colon. We've talked about doing it rectally. Now let's talk about the wheatgrass juice orally, drinking it. Wheatgrass juice has all vitamins, minerals, trace elements. Wheatgrass juice has more protein than most other substances, protein in a natural form that the body can deal with very naturally. It isn't like animal protein that has uric acid, or dairy proteins that are high in mucus-forming substances. But the body deals with it easily. So I think this would be a good time to share with you something that I discovered rather recently. I was in my room one evening and I was meditating, and I decided, I'm going to look at the scriptures. I think I'll start from the beginning. And so I started with Exodus 1, 2, God created the world. First day it was the firmament and so forth and whatever. And on the third day, this was, did I say Exodus? I didn't mean Exodus, I meant Genesis, the beginning. Genesis 1:11, God said, "And let there be grass and vegetables and fruit." The first thing, and this was before he created man, he actually created the food that would be available for man when he was created on the sixth day. On the third day, he created grass. So I feel very comfortable in drinking the grass and knowing that it has all the substances that I need, that I can live with. So we recommend that you drink 6 ounces of wheatgrass juice, 3 ounces twice a day. If you're not accustomed to taking wheatgrass juice, then start with 1 ounce twice a day and work up to 2 ounces twice a day and then 3 ounces twice a day. We do not recommend that you take more than 6 ounces. It isn't necessary. Wheatgrass juice is powerful. Not only, as I've pointed out, is it powerful in the intestinal tract, but it's in the colon area, but it's powerful in our whole body. It actually gets into every cell and every organ and every little part of our body and works almost like a detergent. It kind of sparkles and cleans them out and gets it all out of the toxins out of our system. So we suggest that you drink, as I say, 6 ounces a day, 3 ounces twice a day. Now, you never drink the wheatgrass juice any closer before a meal than 1 hour. In other words, if you're having your breakfast at 8:30, which is when you have it here at the Institute, you do not take the wheatgrass juice after 7:30. You allow an hour from the time you take the wheatgrass juice until you have your meal, allowing the wheatgrass to go into every little part of our body without being interfering with the foods. Never take it closer after a meal than 2 hours. Allow 1 hour for the digestive process, and then again, so that the wheatgrass juice can go and do its work in our system. We also suggest that you not take the wheatgrass juice too late in the day. It's very stimulating. Well, it is grass. It does give you a high. It gives you a sparkle. So we say no later than 5 in the evening, because we have found that often if people take it too late in the day, they can't fall asleep. They're awake. They're all exhilarated and all excited, and therefore they don't sleep well. So you have plenty of time to take it from 6 in the morning until 5 at night, and it'll do whatever you need it to do. So that is drinking the wheatgrass juice. Isn't it a beautiful substance? To your health, out and drink. What else can we do with wheatgrass juice? Well, this is a little eye cup. It fits the contour of your eye. And we have used it, I've used it for 12 years myself, for my eyes. All it takes is just a couple of drops of the wheatgrass juice, put a small amount in your eye cup, which then fits the contour of your eye. You hold it back very, very snugly to the eye and put your head back and roll your eye from in one direction several times, just rolling it several times, then in the other direction several times, then from left to right several times, and open your eye and shut your eye, open it and shut your eye several times, and then keep your eye shut as you draw the cup away from your eye, and then do it the other eye. What does it do? It washes the eye just as it does in other areas that we pointed out in your intestinal tract. It does work as a cleanser. So you can do that. Sometimes I do it 2 or 3 times a day, depending on how I feel. If there's a lot of smog, pollution, and so forth, I may do it more often. This is a syringe. We all recognize a syringe, and I think we all know when you have a syringe, you just, you compress the syringe, and you put it in liquid, and let go, and it draws the liquid into the bulb. Well, all you need is about an ounce or an ounce and a half, and this can be used for the ladies for a vaginal cleanser. And so, while you're in your inverted position, ladies, taking your E's and I's, fill a bulb with about an ounce or an ounce and a half, and insert it in the vaginal area, and once a week, twice a week, once a day, twice a day, whatever you feel comfortable with, and I'm sure you'll be very delighted with the results. Now, I don't have anything specifically for the gentleman. However, we're waiting very patiently for a plumber or an engineer to come by, and I'm sure he'll come and he'll have something for you gentlemen. So take heart, don't be discouraged. I'm sure you have something very comfortable and fun to do for yourself too. But in the meantime, just keep up with the rest of the program. Ladies, to your health. So, as a pain inhibitor, we have been using a wonderful process that overcomes pain. That is taking, you go, as you get your wheatgrass juice, you'll notice when you get your wheatgrass juice, when you juice it in the morning or at any other time of day, or that there, and you already have been shown that the wheatgrass juice comes out of the juicer, the juice comes out of one little hole, and then the pulp comes out something like this, quite dry, but it does come out in this form. So take as much as the pulp as you find, depending on the area that needs to be corrected. So I'm going to show you how to make a poultice. You will take a piece of plastic. Now you can go into the office and they will give you, there's no charge for the poultice material, just tell them you'd like some poultice material, and they will give you, first of all, they give you a piece of plastic. And you take the plastic and you put it down. The purpose of the plastic is to keep the wheatgrass juice from getting on your clothes or on your bedding. So it's really just for protection. Put that down. Then they'll give you a piece of material, sterile material, and you will cover the plastic because you do not want the plastic next to your skin. So now you're going to cover the plastic. And then you can just to speed it, I'm going to put it all together, or you can just take it one piece at a time and put it one layer thick. Now you do not want to disintegrate it, just one layer thick. And because the juice has been extracted from it, and it is a little dry, then take a little of the wheatgrass juice, just very little, and barely moisten it so that it has some moisture in it. Because actually it's the moistness that draws the pain. And you take your pulp and you put that next to the skin, right next to the body, wherever it may be. And then they will also give you some masking tape. And you'll take the masking tape and you'll secure it as much as it will take. Usually 2 strips both ways will hold it securely. And then leave it on there for about an hour. It takes an hour for the body heat to dry the pulp. And it really needs the moisture so they can penetrate beneath the skin. You can do it several times a day, but do not leave it on continually. Leave it on, leave it off for an hour, put it again for an hour, leave it off for 2 hours, put it on at night if you wish, and then take it off. You'll find if you put it on at night that you'll be aware that it's on, and you'll probably wake up and you'll just take it and put it aside and go back to sleep. And you will be amazed at the results that you will see. Now, I had an interesting thing happen to me just last week. I happened to fall on my hardwood floor. And as you can see, there's not a lot of flesh around my body. And so I felt flat, as though someone had taken a crowbar and really smacked me. And I felt it. And I used some of the techniques that we teach here at the Institute. And I'm still, as you see, I'm able to get around. Now, it's still a little bit, it's a little tender because of, it was a bruise. And you know how long it takes for a bruise. Did you ever hit your thumb? And you know, it took a couple of months probably before you could touch it without feeling it. But I want to tell you, was I delighted. at my age, which is 75 years old, I think I did very well. There was no break. There was nothing other than the bruise. And the wheatgrass juice was one of the things that I attribute the overcoming so quickly. So a poultice can be used in any area, wherever you feel pain close to the surface of the body. Just put a poultice and you'll find that it will give you the relief that you are looking for. So this is what we do with the wheatgrass juice. Now, what other things do we use, or do we have in our program besides the wheatgrass juice? Because now you've seen how beneficial it is and how we use it and how people do keep coming back over and over and we've had so many recommendations because of the results that they find here. But wheatgrass isn't the only thing. One of the things that we use here at the Institute is Rejuvelac, fermented foods. Rejuvelac is one of the 3 fermented foods that we have, and when you go on your classes, you'll be told about the others. But Rejuvelac has all the B vitamins, which of course is very essential not only to mental health, but to physical health as well. But particularly valuable, the Rejuvelac is because it's high in enzymes. Now, enzymes are the life force. They're the spark of life, and they're very essential to all of our bodily functions. You need them for digestion, when you eliminate, when you cough. All of these things take enzymes. And because of the abuses we put our body through, actually, we have found that people have lost most of their enzymes, and they find it very difficult to function. Some people can hardly digest juices. So we recommend that you drink a quart of Rejuvelac a day. Now, Rejuvelac, as you will learn in your classes, but let me tell you, is made from grains. We make it here from wheat berries, the pastry wheat, and we also make it from rye. And it's high in enzymes, and I drink a lot of the Rejuvelac because Rejuvelac not only has the enzymes, not only has the vitamins, not only is a spark of life, but also enzymes are rejuvenator. Now, I can't say what I'd like to say because it might seem as though I'm prescribing, and I don't prescribe because that's not our function here, but I will tell you that I drink a lot of Rejuvelac, and I drink it day and night. Now that we have discussed Rejuvelac, and I think you understand how powerful and how valuable it is to us, let's go on to the next phase of our program. Let us talk about the 3-day fast. Well, it's really not a fast. It's a 3-day liquid diet. A fast would be using liquids that have no nutrients at all, and the juices that we will be having for 3 days are very high in nutrients. So, tomorrow you will start with your watermelon as you have had it last night, or yesterday as you had it. But instead of eating the watermelons in solid form, for 3 days you will be eating liquid food only. And the purpose of that is to give your digestive system a rest, to help to flush out the toxins as we're beginning to release them, but best of all, to cleanse our taste buds, so that at the end of the 3 days, everything that we eat, even one little sprig of sunflower greens, is going to taste terrific. And you're well on your way to the new diet that is going to help to restore your body to its normal, natural, healthy, happy self. So, for breakfast, you will have watermelon juice. Now, the watermelon juice will be the pink, which is the flesh, the white, and the green, and the seeds, and it will be juiced and strained, and it'll have all the nutrients of the watermelon. Any of you who have a pancreas involvement, and we've also discovered that candida responds to the sugars, the fruits, and so forth. So we suggest that for the time being, while you're going through a cleansing, it'd be a good idea not to drink the watermelon and not to drink the pink of the watermelon. So instead, you will be having the green, the rind, the white, and it is high in the vitamins, and it also is high in chlorophyll. So that's what those limited hypoglycemics will be using. For lunch and dinner, the kitchen will prepare a vegetable juice. Now those vegetables will be 2 or 3 vegetables. It'll be the same foods that are being served to those who are eating second and third weekers. 2 or 3 vegetables. It'll have sprouts. It'll have the greens. And it takes 2 heaping plates of vegetables to make 1 glass of juice. So therefore, you'll get all the nutrients, you'll get everything that you need to sustain your body during this 3-day liquid diet. For lunch and dinner, vegetables. At the end of the fast, or the diet, the 3-day liquid diet, you will then go on to eating your solid foods again, and you will find how really delicious, live, raw, vital foods are. Because we have found that any food that has been processed or cooked destroys the vitamins and it destroys the enzymes and destroys the value of the food. So we're really eating dead food. So what we are advocating here is that you eat live food, vital food, that a 1/5 amount of food will give you the nutrients, the nourishment that you're going to need to sustain your body and to do the work that you need to be doing here. So that will be your 3-day liquid diet. Aside from that, you'll be having exercise every day, and you've already had your exercise this morning. You will find that the exercises that we teach here are most beneficial because they work with every system in the body. Your eliminative system, your digestive system, your a lymphatic system, your skeletal, your muscular. Well, I don't have to go through all the systems. We know how many systems we have. And what they do is they get them back in sync so that by the time you have been doing this exercise, you will find that your body is purring like a well-oiled motor. And that's what we have found is one of the reasons why people don't function well, because they don't use their part of their body atrophies, and we need to get it all back into shape. So this is important, that every day you take your exercise. Classes, breakfast, our meals are at 8:30 for breakfast, lunch is at 12:30, dinner is at 6, and the classes are 1 hour after each meal, Monday through Friday. The first week your classes will involve those things that deal with the person. Your digestive system, your eliminative system, your mental detoxification, your emotional detoxification. You'll learn about food combining. You'll actually learn how your body functions and understand your body and why it needs the attention that we give it in order to be healthy. The second week, then we go into other things, which are how to grow the wheatgrass, how to make the Rejuvelac, how to make the other fermented foods, sauerkraut, and so forth. So you are, during this 3-week period, you are going to have a very intensive education. You are going to learn to appreciate your body and how it functions. You will learn how to appreciate your mind and how vital and alive it can be when you care for it. And you certainly are going to learn how important your emotions are. So you'll be more supportive, you'll be more loving, you'll be more caring. You will find that you will just feel more alive and happier just to be alive. And of course the spiritual. Well, we do not actually go into religious concepts at all because we do believe that it's a very personal and private thing, our religion is. But we do believe in the scriptures. We believe in the spirituality. We believe in the golden rule. We believe that as a man thinketh, so is he. We also believe that as you sow, so shall you reap. As you give, so shall you receive. In other words, that's a moral code. When we support, when we give, we can expect to receive tenfold and so forth. So why not address it? Why not pay attention to that which we have is part of our heritage? That's what's going to help to make us healthy. That's what's going to make us happier within our relationships and so forth. So you're going to learn all that while you're here in the 3-week period. And of course, aside from that, there'll be a camaraderie. You have now bonded. You are now my children. I have a rather large, wonderful, natural family. I have 3 grown sons. I have 5 grandsons and a granddaughter. I have 5 great-granddaughters, 1 on the way, and they're very precious to me. But I think I should share with you that you, I consider my adopted children. Every one of you is very much a part of me, and I really care for you, and I really want to help you to become the person that you were created to be. So, when you leave this room today, you'll be well on your way. Your life will never be the same again. Seeds have been planted. No matter what you do, you will find that you will understand and will care for this precious body which God created. Each of you are a masterpiece, created by the Master Creator. God bless you. Have a wonderful forever, and I love you. Raychel.
The exercises at the Institute have been specifically designed to aid the body in its detoxification processes. Concentration is on the lower intestinal tract as well as on the lymphatic system. It is suggested that you do the morning exercises every morning before breakfast. Following the exercise routine, Afton Dunbar will demonstrate the trampoline. For the suggested trampoline schedule, consult the appropriate section in your workbook study guide. As with any exercise routine, it is important to go at your own pace, and if you feel any strain, stop immediately and consult your physician.
Hello, I'm Helen Brown. Welcome to our exercise program. This program has been designed to assist in cleansing and detoxifying the entire system. It works with all the systems, the digestive, eliminative, and lymphatic system, as well as the other systems, to tone, renew, and energize. For optimum benefits, you might like to wear something loose and comfortable, particularly cotton or natural fiber to allow the skin to breathe. Remember to listen to your body. There's no competition. You can go at your own pace. Be patient and know that if there's any change in energy, that the body will go at its own pace. Enjoy your exercise practice session. And now, for the arm swing, let's simply move slowly, left and right. Close your eyes and feel the body relaxing and energizing. Open the eyes and continue the swing. Hips forward and feet forward. And rest. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And take another breath. Exhale. When we take a breath, we expand the abdominal cavity, and as we exhale, we flatten just like a flat tire. And for a head rotation, let's simply lower the chin to the chest. And allow your head to rotate slowly in one direction. And the other. Let's do that a couple of times. Loosening up the neck and the shoulders. Allowing the shoulders to drop out of the ears. And let's lower the chin to the chest. Inhaling as we lift. And exhale as we lower. Head back. Chin up. Inhale and lift. And once more, lower, exhaling. And again, breathe. Exhale and lower, relaxing the shoulders. Inhale and lift. And rest. And now, let's do a shoulder rotation. Rotating the shoulders up and around, loosening up. And elbows. Feel between the shoulder blades. And now alternate hands. Relaxing your hands as your shoulders lift. Elbows relaxed as well. And now for an arm rotation. Bring your arms out to your side and slowly rotate. Starting with small circles and continuing with each rotation. Nice deep breath, stretching the sides, the back, and the opposite direction, starting with a large circle. And hold. And now for the hands and wrists, stretch your fingers and rotate slowly. Flexing those wrists, one direction and the other. And for a finger stretch, really stretch those fingers. And rest. Bring the arms over the head for your arm stretch. Inhaling. Side to side from the waist. Elongate. And hold on to your wrist with your hand and take a deep breath. Exhale and flow over your side. It doesn't matter how far down you go. Inhaling as you lift. And other side. Hold on to your wrist and stretch. Deep breath. Exhale. Making sure you're going over the side rather than forward. Inhaling as you lift. And exhale as you lower, reaching for the opposite wall, getting the back as flat as you can, arms up by your ears. Continue down, relaxing the head, the shoulders, bending the knees, and move side to side for the elephant swing. It doesn't matter how far down you go. Simply do what you're ready to do. And then squat. Eventually the feet will be on the floor. Just do what you can. Resting your arms wherever it's comfortable, on your knees or in front of you, and just rotate slowly back and forth. And hold on to the ankles wherever it's comfortable for you, perhaps the knees, and get a good stretch, deep breath. Exhale. Pulling your head down as far as you can comfortably. And now hold on to your head. The back of the head, another deep breath. Exhale, bringing your head down. And relax the arms. And we're going to move out of it slowly. Pull the tummy in, tuck the hips under, keep the head dangling, and stack your vertebrae one on top of the other. And take a deep breath. And now we're going to loosen up the body even more with a lunge. The feet are placed close together, and we're going to alternate feet as we lunge forward and back. Inhaling as you come forward, exhaling as you come back. Ready? Deep breath. Exhale. Do as many as you can. Resting when you're ready. And rest. And now, to assist further in the right and left brain, we're going to do the leg and arm swing. Place your weight on your right foot. And let's place the left foot in front of you. Cross over. And then the right hand crosses over your leg. You're going to eventually alternate and cross over. Exhaling as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Doesn't matter how far you go. Simply do what you're ready to do. And check to see that your leg is going underneath. Cross over, over, over. Rest anytime. And now we're going to massage the feet. Bring the toes in, and we're going to simply walk, moving the arms. Tummy in, chest up, shoulders back, head back over your shoulders, and imagine a balloon pulling through the top of your head. And the other direction, walking like a duck. Good. And now we're going to do the exercise walk. So enjoy your walk wherever you're going.
We would like to remind you that it is important to go at your own pace, and if you feel any strain, stop immediately and consult your physician or veterinarian.
Hope you've enjoyed your walk, whatever its duration. Now we're ready for the isometric part of the exercise program. Let's place the hands together. And we're going to feel the pressing in the arms. Take a deep breath. Exhale and press your hands together. Pull the tummy in, tuck the hips under, and feel the stretch in the arms and the back, perhaps the neck. And again, take a deep breath. Exhale, pressing your hands together. Really feel that press. And again, this time we're going to pull the hands apart. Take a deep breath. Exhale, pulling the fingers apart. And feel the stretch in the arms, under the arms, between the shoulder blades. Tummy in, hips tucked under. Release slowly. And once more, deep breath. Exhale, pulling your hands apart. And bring your hands overhead. Feel the stretch, chest up, chin up, elbows back. Feel the stretch between the shoulder blades. Releasing slowly, bringing your hands back in front of your face. And now bring your hands a few inches away from your face. Releasing slowly and rest. And let's lift the shoulders up to the ears, loosening up that area. Take a deep breath. Lift the shoulders and hold. Really tighten your arms. Make fists out of your hands and tighten that area. And release slowly. Once more, making fists out of the hands. Nice tight arms. Take a deep breath and lift the shoulders to the ears. Exhale and lower. And now we're ready for the Ha. Marvelous for the entire respiratory system. The feet are placed shoulder width apart and clasp the hands together. We're going to take a deep breath, bring the arms up over the head, and as we exhale, lower the hands through the legs. Ready? Deep breath. And exhale. Ha! 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 Pause anytime. Ha! 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 Continuing as long as you can comfortably. Ha! 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 And rest. Marvelous for releasing congestion and phlegm in the lungs. Rest a moment. And now we're going to do the hula. Bring your feet together. Bend the knees. Place the hands on your hips. And we're going to move from side to side. Just loosening up initially, especially if you have lower back sensitivity. Those who are ready will continue moving around in a circle, one direction and the other, keeping the head, the shoulders quiet and even. And continue around 5 times to the left. Breathe. It will assist. And the opposite direction. Good. And now we're ready for our dance routine. You may use a partner or a chair. Standing straight. Let's bend the right knee and do a foot rotation, slowly going to the right. Tummy in, chest up, keep that foot rotating, loosening up the ankle and the foot. Knee up, and the opposite direction. You want to feel the muscles in the leg. And now let's swing the leg out from the knee. And now, holding the back straight, let's do a complete swing from the hip. Good, and the opposite direction. Bring the left knee up and slowly rotate the ankle to the right. Tummy in, chest up, and now to the left. And swing the leg out from the knee. Keeping the back straight, let's do a nice stretch and swing from the hip. Good. And now have a seat and we'll do the knee press using a partner or a wall. Bring your feet together. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, place your hands on your knees and allow the knees to go down toward the floor. Good. Keeping the buttocks close together, as close as you can to your partner or the wall. And release slowly. Good stretch in the thighs. Let's do it again. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, press your hands on your knees and allow those knees to go down toward the floor. Very nice. And now let's crawl around the floor like a baby. Really assisting the right and left brain by alternating the feet and the legs. Now we're going to get a mat and stretch out for our deep breaths. Stretch out on your back. You may bend your knees to protect the lower back area. And as we inhale, we'll lift the arms above the head. Ready? Now 5 deep breaths. You may take these any time during the day. Marvelous under stress. Take a deep breath. Expanding the abdominal cavity as you inhale, bringing the hands up over the head, and exhale and lower. And again, deep breath. Exhale and lower. Oxygenating the system. Once more. Exhale and lower. Let's bend the right knee into the chest. Extend the leg, and we're going to flex and point. Bring the foot in toward your head and point away from the head. Bending the left knee and holding on to your leg wherever it's comfortable, below the knee or anywhere toward the ankle. Deep breath. Exhale and flex toward the head and away and toward. Exhale. Bend the knee into your chest and lower. Same thing on the other side. Bend your left knee into your chest, bending the right knee also if you like to protect the lower back, and extend the left leg. Flexing and pointing toward the head and away from the head. Deep breath. Exhale. Exhale. Point. Flex. Point. Flex. Point. Flex and relax. Bringing your knee into your chest, and now bring both knees into the chest and extend the legs straight up in the air. Again, holding wherever it's comfortable for you. Take a deep breath and exhale. Flexing your ankles toward your head and point away from the head and flex. Point, flex, point, and breathe. Remembering to breathe with all of your exercises. And rest. Bend the knees toward your chest. And let's go over to our side for our leg lift. Place the head on your right arm and be aware of a straight line from the tips of your fingertips all the way down through your torso to your toes. And we're going to take a deep breath, and as we exhale, lift the leg as high as you can, placing the left hand in front of you. Take a deep breath, exhale and lift, and flex your toes toward your body, and lower. Inhaling, and exhale and lift. Continue as many as you can comfortably. Wonderful stretch, toning. Exhale and lift. Simply rest when you've had enough. And when you've had enough to do 10, bring your knee into your chest. And now turn over to the other side. Take a deep breath and exhale and lift. The right leg. Point your toe toward your body. Exhale, lift. Inhale as you lower. Good. That should be about enough time for 10. And bring the knee into your chest and rest, relaxing the lower back. And turn over on your stomach. For the leg and arm lift, we're going to do alternating legs and arms. The right arm and the left leg, and then the left arm and the right leg. Lifting your head as you do that. Take it carefully, especially with lower back sensitivity and during female monthly. Deep breath and exhale and lift. And again. Doesn't matter how high you go, just do a little. Rest when you've had enough. Bringing your hands under your head. Give your body a chance to relax. And we'll scissor by crossing the ankles. Forward and back. Relaxing the lower back slowly. And now let's turn over, rest for a moment, and turn over for some gentle sit-ups. Bending the knees assists with these modified sit-ups. Stretch out on your back. Take a deep breath. Exhale and relax. Knees are bent, feet on the floor, feet together, knees together. Placing the hands behind your head, take a deep breath, exhale and lift. Bring the knees up. Exhaling as you come up, inhaling as you go back. Take it slowly. Rest when you've had enough, and then we'll cross the ankles and do alternate elbow to alternate knee. Resting the hands behind your head. If you rest your thumbs against your neck, it will assist in keeping that alignment. Deep breath. And as you exhale, place your right elbow toward your left knee. Ready? And opposite. Exhale. Slowly. Rest anytime. Bringing the feet back to the floor. Bring your arms down to the side and rest. And bending the knees for the variations of the shoulder stand, whether your buttocks is on the floor or you come up to the shoulders, do whatever you're ready to do. If you listen carefully, it will assist you in coming out of the position. Bring your arms by your side. Push the hands in the mat. Inhale and elevate the legs. If the buttocks is on the floor, simply make fists out of your hands, bring them underneath you. If you're ready to continue up higher, continue and support your back with your hands. Deep breath. Just rest, exhaling, relaxed feet, and we're going to bicycle very slowly. And you may increase that speed if you're comfortable. The important thing is to keep the head straight, regardless of how high you are, remembering that you can do more another time. And bend the knees to the forehead. And if you're ready, allow your feet to go over your head in the plow. If your feet are not touching, begin to come down slowly by pushing the hands in the floor close together. It will assist you in keeping the head on the floor. Those who are still over may bring the knees around the ears. Again, slowly moving out of it push the hands close together. Once the buttocks is on the mat, pause a moment, inhale and exhale as you bend your knees and carefully place your feet on the floor. And rest. Marvelous for the entire system, reversing the organs against gravity, aiding circulation in the legs. It's a powerful exercise. Give a little time to rest. And it is said that laughter is the best medicine. So let's just push laughter out of our body and laugh for a few moments. Oh, that should feel very good. Exercising and massaging all the internal organs. And now bring the knees to the chest, relaxing the lower back, particularly after doing the shoulder stand. Let's move left and right, bringing your knees down to the floor, left and right. And then simply roll over to your right and place your head on the floor. Breathe into your lower back, relaxing that area. And now we're going to lift. Bring the feet together, buttocks up first, relax. Head dangling, pull the tummy in, tuck the hips under, and stack your vertebrae, one on top of the other. And that's your exercise practice session. I just want to thank Joanne and Jim for joining me.
Hello, my name is Afton Dunbar. I'm here to share with you the benefits of rebounding on the trampoline. I'd like to share with you what all it'll do for your body, as well as for your heart and for your lungs and the circulation of your body. We feel that the trampoline is, it's important that you have a good bounce. It doesn't necessarily matter what type of trampoline you have, as long as it has a good bounce. In this one that we're using today, we have extra springs in each one of the legs as well as all of these springs. So the better the bounce, the better the benefit that you're going to receive from it. And then also it's one of the best ways, we feel, to exercise the lymphatic system. And every cell responds. I don't have to go any more than just barely bounce like this. I can feel any place in my body a vibration because every cell responds. Now, it's very good for your heart because as you work out on the trampoline, it's going to increase the activity of your heart, causing you to have a healthier heart. As your heart beats faster, it's going to cause your blood to circulate, for better circulation. Also, it's good it's good to breathe deeply. Breathe through your nose and exhale through your mouth, because this intake of oxygen builds the cells in your body. It also they also tell us that you get almost as much energy and nutrition from the air that you breathe as you do the food that you eat. Now, exercise on the trampoline is very good for losing weight. We feel that excess weight is due to water retention in the body. As you're working out on the trampoline, it's going to exercise the cells so that they're going to expel the excess water. Also, it's going to stimulate your colon, so things are going to start moving, and it's going to rebalance and rebuild and rejuvenate your whole body. We have several things that we'd like to tell you about of the trampoline. You don't have to go any more than this. Just barely bounce on here, and this will give you the benefit. Or if you want to, you can start walking. And I walk like this for at least 10 minutes. I have a record at the head of my record player at the head of my bed. A record lasts about 3 minutes. We'll go through about 3 minutes, give me about a 10-minute walk. And so you can put in a little dance step if you want, but you go right through this, and this is the way we build up our tempo. I like to compare my body to like an automobile. Everyone knows that you don't start an automobile out at 55 miles an hour. You start out at 5, and then you build up to 55, and then you do not stop at 55 because your heart is pounding, and then you need to taper off and go back down and reverse the program that you started on. So we're working out on this, and walking would be my 5 miles an hour, and then we start jogging. The jogging is breathing in, the count of breathing in, and then at the count of 5, and then exhaling. This way you're breathing in oxygen and exhaling the toxins from your body. This way, and while you're on here working like this, it's good to do other exercises. You can do these things like this. If you've had a problem with somebody and you want to get it out of your system, just let them have it, you know, and just enjoy it while you're on here and release that from your system. Then you don't have those problems anymore. And so we're jogging now. We're building up our tempo. Then we're going to do the aerobic exercises. You can do the ski, and then you can do the jumping jack. Then where we're going to do this, the jumping jack, then the rest of these exercises are for your strength exercise to improve the different parts of your body. I usually do each one of these 10 times. And so this is for your back. So we do this 10 times. And then we do this for our sides. Then we have this stimulates the colon. We have the twist like this. And now when we start this way, we're built up to 55 miles an hour. Now it's time to reverse it. So now we do jogging. And then we'll do a few of our jumping jacks. And then we start walking. And we walk, and this way we're calming down our heart and the body. Then we start in just barely bouncing like this, because every cell responds. It's important while you're rebounding that you face north or south. This way you're right in line with the magnetic current that goes from the North Pole to the South Pole. When you open a compass, that compass just naturally wants to lean towards the north. And so while you're on the trampoline, you're facing north or south, and our bodies are like an electric dynamo. We're positive on the one side and negative on the other. This way, we're responding to that and working right along with nature. So it's important now that to keep in mind that as you're rebounding, that every cell in your body is going to function more efficiently. So thank you for your attention. Have a happy, healthy rebounding.
This has been the first in the 6-tape Optimum Health Institute of San Diego video series. Over the years, many thousands of people have benefited from the program at the Optimum Health Institute of San Diego. It is now time to reach a larger audience. These videos have been produced by the Health Institute in order to spread the wonders of wheatgrass and the blessings of optimum health to the general public, and to assist you in maintaining the program at home. Each tape in this series addresses a different aspect of health, and together they present a complete, balanced, and proven program for achieving optimum physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. To obtain additional copies of this video, other videos in this series, or items mentioned in these videos, contact the Optimum Health Institute of San Diego at 6970 Central Avenue, Lemon Grove, California, 92045, or phone area code 619-464-3346.